I'm a little scared of him in the hottest way possible. Babe, I fear you are so lost. I really do love him. I think that's what's happening. Am I doing a good job? Hello, book besties. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Delaney if you are new here, and you guys, we are doing it. If you are not new here, you know for a fact that I have been on the struggle bus trying to become a fantasy reader, yet for some reason I can't let it rest. I can't give up on that dream of mine. So we are back and more motivated than ever, perhaps, to become a fantasy reader, and that's what this vlog is going to be. I am forcing myself to read fantasy books until I like them. I am determined. It's gonna happen, you guys. I have already made up my mind it is going to happen. So my goal is to read probably 2 to 3-ish fantasy books here that I have on my radar. I have purchased them. They're on my shelves. I'm excited to get to them. I'm a little bit nervous, but we are going to roll with the punches. I really need to just learn to like trust the process and not freak myself out when I can't pronounce half the words in a fantasy book, because I hear that's half the fun, is like not knowing what the heck is going on. So I need to just like let it happen, let it be what it's gonna be. We are starting with a lighter fantasy, or what I perceive to be a lighter fantasy. That is Our Infinite Fates. This is kind of giving like fantasy, but magical realism-esque. It's kind of reminding me of like Addie LaRue type vibes, which I really enjoyed Addie LaRue. So I'm hopeful that this is good. I believe this is, yeah, it says The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue meets This Is How You Lose the Time War in this fantastical and epic love story that defies death as two souls reincarnate through the centuries. So I believe what I've heard about this book is it follows two souls, not necessarily human beings, but two souls. And they meet each other in every lifetime and fall in love, I believe, but they also kill each other in every lifetime, which sounds very intriguing. So the premise is there. I already love the premise. We're going to see how it's executed. I've heard some people say they didn't love how it was done, but hopefully this is a good start. It's a shorter fantasy book. I feel like fantasy books are always like 900 pages long, and they're always like in 10 book long series. So we have a short standalone fantasy to get my foot in the door, to dip my toe in, if you will. How many more analogies can I use in one sentence? I don't know. But we are starting here. Hopefully it goes well. I'm going to be vlogging unfiltered the whole experience, and if you think I'm an idiot reading fantasy, you're probably right, but just don't tell me. I don't need to know. I already know. Just be nice to me. I will probably struggle throughout this vlog, but come along for the ride. We're going to get started reading this book. I will touch base once I make some progress through this, but I wanted to hop on, introduce, and there's no turning back now. We've already started the vlog, so you are holding me accountable. This is all thanks to you that I am opening this whole new world of fantasy for myself. I'm excited to do this with you, and I will update you when I start the first book. Okay, you guys, I am reading Our Infinite Fates, and I feel like I'm doing a good job. I feel like I'm understanding. I feel like I'm following. I was listening to the audio last, let me see. I'm about a third-ish of the way through, and I genuinely don't feel lost. I genuinely don't feel confused, and I'm proud of myself. I will say I'm a little bit bored, and the amount of boredom I'm having is making me second guess if I'm missing something, but I really don't think I am. Like, I'm following, I'm understanding. It's just kind of slow and a little bit repetitive and very, very, very descriptive, and not in a way that is like necessary, I feel. I think it's just like kind of tedious, the amount of description of like setting and everything that we're getting. So those are my main complaints, but overall I'm having an okay time. I kind of like it. I like the premise a lot. I really like the premise. I don't know if I love how it's being executed, but there's a lot of book left, you know? So essentially this is following Evelyn, and she is tied to this soul or this fate named Arden, and they fall in love in every lifetime and they kill each other in every lifetime. And so we have like one continuous plot line through 2022, and I think it's in Wales, 2022. And then basically every other chapter, we're getting like a flashback to a previous lifetime from her. So it's like we're following a main character as multiple different characters throughout many lifetimes, if that makes sense. So in the 2022 lifetime, she's about to turn 18, which is when she gets by Arden. So she's very aware of like her previous lifetimes. Like she has kind of like faint memories of them and everything, and she's very aware that she is going to die basically. But in this lifetime, her sister, who is like her world, her best friend, needs her to stay alive for a medical transplant. So she's like really on high alert, like looking for Arden, looking for signs that she could be dying, looking for like basically kind of hyper vigilant because she knows that her impending death is coming rapidly and she needs to make it past her 18th birthday to be able to keep her sister alive. So like with that, you can tell that the plot is there, like the idea is there. There are really, really beautiful quotes in this. Like I'm loving a lot of the quotes about relationships and soulmates and fate ties and all of those things. I feel like there are a little, it's just a little slow, I feel like is my main thing. But again, we're still pretty early in the book, so I feel like maybe we're still kind of getting set up and it'll pick up pace. I am not hating it. I wouldn't say I'm loving it, but like it's enjoyable enough. Very like Evelyn, or not Evelyn Hugo, very like Addie LaRue-ish. If you have read that book, it's like a woman that can't die. Like she has been alive for ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And it's kind of like a similar plot, like similar idea. I feel like maybe there was some inspo from Addie LaRue. I love Addie LaRue. This one isn't quite as captivating as Addie LaRue, but like very similar vibe. So that is the update as of now. I am excited to continue reading it. It's not a long book by any means, so I feel like it's very doable if you're a newbie to fantasy like me, or if you're a little intimidated by fantasy. It is under 350 pages, and I believe it's a standalone. I don't know if there's going to be a second book, but as of now, I think it's a standalone. So very digestible, very easy to understand. If I'm not having a problem understanding it, you guys can do it too. Yeah, I'm really glad I picked this up as kind of like dipping my toe back into the fantasy genre. I feel like it's a great like gateway to fantasy, kind of like magical realism meets fantasy. So that's the update as of now, only about a third of the way through, like I said. So lots more to go, and I will keep you posted as I read, but I wanted to touch base with like my thoughts on the first little portion that I've read so far. I am back with another update on our Infinite Fates. I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through this book now, and it's taking me a long time to read it, and I feel like fantasy normally takes me a long time to read it because I get confused and I have to go back and reread and make sure I'm figuring out like who everyone is, what the setting is. Like fantasy is just kind of a lot to comprehend. That's not how I feel about this one. I feel like I'm just not wanting to pick it up, and that's why it's taking me a long time to read it. When I do pick it up, it's not like I actively am like, this is so bad, this is so boring. I just never find myself thinking about it or wanting to pick it up and dive back into it. You know what I mean? So I don't have a ton to say. I feel like we're pretty much just doing the same thing. Like I said, the last time we have like that continuous plot line in 2022 in Wales, and then we have like alternating chapters that are all over the place. We have like Dutch East Indies, we have the US, let me see where else we have. Austria and Hungary, France, Algeria, like so many different places, which is kind of cool to see so many different settings and lifetimes and stories combined into one book. I will say there's also messaging about like gender and sexuality, which I think is really interestingly woven into this book. I think that's cool that like the author kind of strung that in as part of the storyline. It makes a lot of sense. If you're just following souls, like our bodies are really just skin suits. Like we're really just walking around in containers, basically. And our soul is like what's really determining our life and our love and our romance and everything like that. Kind of just a cool thing to think about. I know it's very fantasy and very fictional, like the plot of this, but also just kind of a cool thing to think about in everyday life, and like your soul and like who you are as a human being could exist in various bodies. And I feel like we focus so much on the external body sometimes that we forget that the soul is really what like determines our life and how we move through life. So very interesting topic to kind of get super deep and introspective about. But overall, kind of the same thoughts as last time. It's getting a little bit better, I feel like, because I'm caring more about the characters, but I'm just like not super hyped to pick it up. That's really the biggest thing. So I'm going to try to finish this, and then I'll update you next time with like my full rating, thoughts, reviews, all the end of the book jazz. But yeah, not a whole lot to say besides the fact that I'm still understanding it. That's a win for me. I'm understanding fantasy, so that's a huge win, but not overly like invested or feeling super drawn to picking it up or anything like that. So we will see kind of where it goes from here, and I'll touch base with you with my final thoughts when I finish it. Hopefully today or tomorrow. I'm like ready to be done with this book so I can focus on other things, but yeah, slowly but surely we're working our way through. Guess who finished an entire fantasy book without getting confused? Moment of silence for your round of applause. Go ahead. I'll give you time to clap for me. I am so proud of myself. So proud of myself. Also, I have Post Malone on my shirt, so don't mind that. But I did it, you guys. I read Our Infinite Fates, and even though I didn't love it, I made it start to finish without getting completely lost and confused, which is a big feat for me reading fantasy. And I will say the ending was very, very satisfying. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give it away, obviously, but I loved how it came full circle. I love the themes about like fated mates. I love soulmate themes in any type of book, but especially like how it was done in here. Like just the fact that these souls met each other in so many different lifetimes, so many different bodies, so many different settings and situations, like from world wars to present day to future, but all the way back to like ancient Greece and like Greek gods. Like that is where we learn that's kind of like when they originated, was in Greece. And I think it's like 980 something, like the year 986. So like forever ago, and then all the way up to I think 2050 something is like the last year that we get. And it is so powerful to see souls just fall in love in every lifetime and find each other in every lifetime. Loved that portion. To have the added element that like the soul that they fall in love with is also always the person that ends up being their demise and literally killing them was really interesting. I love the creativity. I love the premise. There's a quote at the end. I wrote it in my phone because I didn't annotate this book. It just didn't resonate that hard for me, but I wrote the quote in my phone. It says, "How could the soul that kills me be the one that makes me feel so alive?" And I feel like that just sums up so much of this book. It's like that back and forth pull of this person is so bad for me and quite literally will be the death of me, and also they make me feel so in love and alive and they bring out the sparkle in me. It's so interesting. Such an intriguing concept. Didn't fully love how it was executed. I was a little bit bored and I felt like this could have been, the concept alone I feel like could have been a 5-star read. The way it was executed just didn't fully hit that mark for me. The ending was very satisfying, I will say, and I was able to read it and not get confused. So I highly recommend reading this if you're wanting to dip your toe into the fantasy genre, but I wouldn't say go in and expect like this life-changing, gripping fantasy story that you can't put down. Maybe you'd have that experience, but I never really felt like that strong drive to keep reading this book. I kind of had to force myself to read it, but I'm glad that I did. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 3-star. It feels very like middle of the road. I'm glad I read it, and it definitely kickstarted me wanting to read more fantasy. I know that any level past this will confuse me and be more difficult of a read, but we're doing it. I actually just ordered a bunch of fantasy books off of Pango Books, so that is gonna be next. I have The Serpent and the Wings of Night, Dance of Thieves, Six of Crows, Silver Elite, Shield of Sparrows. I have a lot. I really do have a lot. I don't know where we'll be going next. Maybe Shield of Sparrows is kind of where I'm thinking. Maybe I'll post like an Instagram poll because you guys know that I'm not a fantasy reader and you guys can help like guide me in the next like baby steps, you know, like you can help me guide to the next fantasy level before I just throw myself in the deep end and lose it entirely. All right, we're off to a pretty strong start. 3 stars. Not great, but not terrible, and I was able to get through it. So that is good enough for me. I'm taking the win and very excited to see where I go next. I will update you, of course, as soon as I know what fantasy book I'm picking up next, but that is all for now. Okay, as you saw from the clips that I took, I've started Shield of Sparrows. It was like so obvious when I posted a poll on my Instagram with all the fantasy options that this one, I think I posted 4 options and this had over 50% of the votes. So like not even close. I'm at chapter 8, page 56, and I'm doing okay. I'm enjoying it. I have taken a lot of notes. I just posted in my Patreon group chat. I was like, you guys need to know the amount of thought that goes into me reading fantasy and like the brain power. These are all notes just on the first like 50-ish pages. And after I posted it, people were making fun of me with my typos. Like none of this would make sense to anybody but me, but it's okay because this is what I needed to get started. Fantasy, just like there's so much going on. It's character names, it's place names, it's like spiritual creature names. There's like treaties and clauses and like all of these things that you have to understand, and I get lost. And then once I'm lost, there's no coming back. So a lot of my friends were like, I told you could just like vibe with this one. I'm like, no, because like once I'm lost, I check out and then I don't pay attention, and then I'm really lost, and then the book is just over. Like there's no chance. That's what happened to me with the second ACOTAR. I got a little bit lost, stopped paying full attention because I was lost, and I kind of just gave up and threw the towel in. And then I got to the end of the book and I was like, I understood none of that, and I hated it because I didn't understand anything I was reading. So I'm trying to be better, and this book has a lot of potential because I'm actually really enjoying it. I know it sounds like I've just been so focused and it's like a school assignment and there's no possible way I could be enjoying that, but I am actually really enjoying it. I love Devoney Perry's writing style. I really want to buy her Eden's series, I think is what it's called. Maybe it's Indigo Ridge. I don't know. No, I think it's called the Eden series, and Indigo Ridge is the first book. I want to read more of her books. Her writing style is so good. I just love the way she writes. I can't even like put into words why. I just really love her writing. So it's going well. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of like the premise of this, and let's just have like a therapy moment. We're gonna have a therapy hour here. I have this fear that when I talk about fantasy books in particular, I'm gonna explain the plot so confidently, and you guys are gonna watch it and have read the book and be like, babe, I fear you are so lost. Like, I'm afraid to just confidently be like, this book is about this, 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 and everyone that's read it is gonna watch and be like, no, it's not about any of that actually. So I'm gonna explain what I think is going on in the book. So we have two sisters, May and Odessa. Odessa's our main character. May was set to marry Prince Xavier. He's from a different kingdom, I guess, kind of like a country kingdom, and they all have this treaty that basically is like a trade treaty, and also they like sacrifice a bride. Not sacrifice, that would be really aggressive. Like a arranged marriage type of situation, a daughter to marry a king or a prince from another kingdom. So they have like family ties between all the kingdoms, if that makes sense. And they are all trying to remain united. They like had this treaty to stop the wars between these four countries because they have to be united against the Crux, which is like these monsters that are coming to destroy their country as a whole. Kind of how I'm interpreting it. So we have Prince Xavier. He came to marry May, who is very much like the golden child of these two people, Margot and our main character's dad. What's his name? They call him the Gold King, I think, but I don't know his actual name, if I'm honest. So they are the daughters. Margot is only May's mom. It's Odessa's stepmom. Odessa's mom passed away, and Margot and Odessa have kind of like a iffy relationship because Margot's a little bit bitter about the widow situation, the ex-wife, the wife that passed away. So that probably made no sense, but that's what I'm understanding. So Prince Xavier came to marry May, who they were going to put into this arranged marriage because she was like their daughter of choice. And we get there, and they have like taken 7 female lives for these monsters, and so there's like some weird rule that they can pick whichever daughter that they want. Long story short, they don't want May, they want Odessa. So Margot and the dad are like, what the heck? This is not the daughter we thought was going to be getting into this. So they're rapidly trying to prep Odessa for this marriage and to be taken away to Tura, I think is where they're going. I think that's how you pronounce it, with Prince Xavier, who is the Turin prince. So that's where we're at. They just got married, and there's some like looming, let me see here. Okay, so there's like also this other figure that's kind of mysterious right now, but he's called the Guardian, and the father wants Odessa to like kind of sneak attack so he can figure out more about the Guardian. And he was trying to like arrange it so the wedding date could be bumped up. He didn't expect them to choose Odessa over May, but he wanted like the wedding date between Xavier and May to be bumped up, and that didn't happen. They chose Odessa instead. But he did get the earlier wedding date, and so now he's like filling Odessa's head with like what he needs her to do to kind of sneak attack and get insight into the Guardian. Okay, that was a lot, but I think that's what's happening. I think that's what's happening. Am I doing a good job? I wish you guys could talk to me in real time, because if that's wrong, we're doomed, because I feel confident that that's what the storyline is. So if that's wrong and we're only like 50 pages in, I'm just going to confidently continue to go with that, and I'm going to be lost. But I think I'm good. I think I'm good. And I'm enjoying it so far for the most part. I do have to run. I am coaching, and I have to go to practice for my coaching job. So I'm gonna do that, and maybe try to read a little bit more when I get home. Dancing with the Stars started last night, and I only was able to watch like half the episode before I fell asleep. So I do want to watch that when I get home too. So we will see how I prioritize my time, but I'm enjoying this so far. And like I feel like I've been reading forever and like barely have made a dent. How long is this? It's only like 500 pages. That looks like more than 500 pages. I don't know why that feels so excessively long. Once I'm into it, I feel like it might start going faster, but as of now, I'm just like trying to set the foundation so I'm not lost for the rest of the book. But I feel like I'm doing good. I'm doing a really good job. I'm proud of myself. I wish you guys could be here to be proud of me too, but okay, I'm gonna go so I'm not late. But that is the thoughts as of now. I will update you when I read more, whenever that is, and hopefully continue to do well. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. Okay, you guys, I'm reading Shield of Sparrows. I'm at chapter 16, page 130, and I am loving this book. I'm loving this book. A fantasy book, like a full fantasy book, and I'm loving it. Can we have a moment? Can we have a moment? Oh my gosh. So I feel like the adventure has like begun. They are on their way to this new area where they are basically boating, and there's monsters and villains and all the things going on. There's also the Guardian. I think I mentioned the Guardian was kind of like this weird looming, kind of unknown figure. You're gonna hear my dog walking across the hardwood floor. I'm sorry, I need to trim her toenails, but try to ignore it. The Guardian, I am terrified of him in like the hottest, most attractive way possible. Like, I'm hoping he's the love interest. And I'm feeling like he's going to be. I don't know if there's going to be like a love triangle between like Xavier and the Guardian and Odessa. I don't know, but I feel like I want the Guardian to be the love interest, and I'm not fantasy, like well versed enough in the fantasy genre to be able to accurately predict like the love interest. I feel like sometimes it's really obvious if you read a lot of fantasy, and I don't. So I don't know where we're going to go from here. I just feel like Devney Perry, right? Yeah. I feel like Devney Perry has created like a good air of mystery, and like I'm intrigued with all the men in this book so far, and very curious to see where we go in terms of the romance. I'm a romance reader through and through. I will look for the romance in any book. So very glad that it feels like there's going to be a heavy romance subplot within this fantasy. Sorry, someone just ran by the front of my house, and I think I know him from high school. But that's the update as of now. I'm excited to pick this up. I'm excited to read it, which has never happened with a fantasy before. Normally I kind of have to force myself to get into them, and I am all in on this fantasy. So very, very exciting update. I will definitely keep you posted as I continue to read. But it's Friday. I have a relatively open weekend, so lots of time for reading is my hope. And I'm very excited to see what will come of the rest of this book. So I'll keep you posted as I read along. You will be reading along with me, and yeah, it's going really good. It's going good. Okay, I need to talk to you guys about Shield of Sparrows because I am making really good progress through it. Yes, that is a gum wrapper as my bookmark. I have about 4 trillion bookmarks, and what am I using? A gum wrapper. Also, my mom like touched up my curtain bangs for me and I can't figure out how to style them without looking like I'm a 1970s like 50-year-old woman. Hopefully we'll get there. Anyways, I made notes in my phone about things that I wanted to talk about. So first of all, seeing The Guardian with Evie is so sweet. I truly am obsessed with him. I am a little scared of him. I think I said this in the past. I'm a little scared of him in the hottest way possible. Like, I really do love him a lot. And seeing him with children and like the way he's so soft and gentle melts my heart. Something about a man with children, like it just will do it for me every single time. He's like protective and scary and big and gruff in the most endearing way possible. I really do love him. Secondly, there was a quote at the beginning of chapter 26 that I noted I wanted to talk about, which was a while ago now because I haven't been able to put this book down. I've been reading like crazy. 26 was way back here. Shoot, I'm not even gonna know what I was talking about. Oh, I know what I was talking about. Okay. It says, what would I do if my life was my own? What would I do if I could break away from this marriage to Savior? If the key to saving my people didn't rest on my shoulders? Who would I become if I wasn't at the mercy of men? An adventurer, a voyager, a writer, an artist who traveled the realm and never cared that her fingertips were stained with charcoal or paint? Not once in my life had I let myself dream of those possibilities. Not once had I been given the luxury of dreams. If I could be anything in this realm, who would I become? I wanted to find out. I loved that. And like just the pressure of her and the pressure placed on her and the fact that she really has had to live her entire life in accordance to men and what they say. I feel like that was speaking to a larger theme, but like so evident in particular in her life. Beautiful, beautifully written. There was also a quote similarly that I wrote it in my notes. It said, "Only fools and liars burn books and people's homes." Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that there. Do with that quote what you will, but yes. Yes. So I'm loving this. I am so excited that I am like really loving a fantasy. It makes me very happy. So I'm gonna go maybe finish the rest of this. Honestly, right now I'm on chapter 50, page 406, and I have to read, I have like another 100 pages, just over 100 pages. So it's possible that I will get to the end of this book today. So that's really exciting. I will update you as I read through this and let you know my final thoughts and everything when I get there. I have a good feeling about this book. It's the first fantasy that I'm like, this could be a 4-star or above, but I don't want to jinx it, but I will let you know when I get there. Jocelyn, you guys? I knew it. You guys, my jaw's on the floor. My jaw's on the floor. I have like 30 pages left. What is going on? Everything that's happened, like since I talked to you last, I feel like my jaw has just progressively like fallen further to the floor. What in the world? What in the world is going on? I have to go finish this. I will be right back, but I needed to like talk to you for just a second and just literally say what the actual heck is going on. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, what in the world? Oh my gosh. Okay. So when does book 2 come out? Because, oh my gosh, no, like actually, when does it come out? You guys, am I a fantasy reader? April of 2026. September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 7 months, over half a year. I have to wait and expect myself to remember that plot. That's never gonna happen. But my gosh. I don't think it's a 5-star, but I don't think it's a 4-star. I think I'm gonna say a 4.5 star for that, you guys. A fantasy that I loved, that I wanted to pick up, and is a 4.5 stars. I did it. I did it. I am a fantasy girl. I'm a romantasy reader. Wow. Yeah, so that's really good. That was really, really good. Yeah. I'm gonna hold off on rating that on Goodreads because I don't know with confidence that it's not a 5-star. I feel like I would know with confidence if it was a 5-star. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna sit on that for a while, but wow. Wow, 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 wow. I think I'll probably go with a 4.5 star, but I'm gonna give it the rest of the night and sit on it and just rate it before I go to bed probably. But oh my gosh, you guys. I'm in love with The Guardian, and that book was relatively easy to follow. There were a couple moments where I was like getting a little lost. I did take a lot of notes in my phone, but overall, I feel like I followed at least 80% of the plot, which is a win for me. I really loved the characters. I loved the romance, and the little dash of spice that we got was really tasteful, honestly, and really well done. I love Daphne Perry's writing. I really want to read the Eden series, like Indigo Ridge. I really want to buy it. I'm trying to not buy a ton of books right now. I'm not on a book buying ban, but I'm trying to be more conscious about my spending, especially on books, because I have a bajillion of them. But I really want to read more Daphne Perry because I love her writing so much. It's so well done, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited. How long have I been wanting to find a fantasy book that I thoroughly enjoyed, like really, really loved? I wanted to understand the hype around fantasy, and I think I do. I think I did it. I'm really encouraged and really excited and really motivated by that. However, I do need a break. I need to read a fluffy romance. I think I'm gonna read like just a fall, like Hannah Bonham Young's new release maybe, or just some fluffy rom-com of some sort, some like cozy read, something kind of mindless, because that was a lot of brain power, I will say, but it was worth it. It was really, really worth it. So I'm gonna say a 4.5 star as of now. I'll pop up on the screen my final rating and what I go with, but that's kind of what I'm feeling. I am gonna sit on it, like I said, and just kind of see how that develops. Sometimes my rating changes with time, but man, there's a lot to think about with that ending. It set up so beautifully for the next book. I cannot wait for next April. It's already one of my most anticipated new releases for next year. So wow, I'm so proud of myself. I'm so excited. I will probably try to fit in another fantasy book into this vlog before we finish, but I need a couple days. I need a break before I dive into any of that. I need something mindless and something quick before I pick up another thought, like a very thinky book, a very brain power heavy book. So man, that was really good, you guys. That was really, really good. Oh, I'm so happy. Okay, I'm gonna talk to you when I decide what I'm reading next and what we're doing next, but I'm like giddy. I'm excited. Hello, we are back with the third fantasy book, kind of in a row, honestly, that I'm reading. I've never in my life read this many fantasy books in such a short period of time, so very proud of myself. We are jumping into Once Upon a Broken Heart. I am excited for this. I am already a little bit of the way into it because one of my best friends and I are buddy reading this, which helps a lot with fantasy, honestly. It just, having someone that is actively in the story that you can reach out to and be like, hey girl, what the heck is going on? Like, I am actually so lost. Very helpful. However, I haven't had to do, I haven't had to do that yet, thankfully, but the book is still young. Like, we are barely into it. I think I'm like 50 pages in. Yeah, I'm on page 48, chapter 7 at the moment. I'm doing audio for this one because this is like an interconnected series with Caravel. I did the last 2 books in Caravel, at least the majority on audio, and I actually really enjoyed them that way. I felt like it was really kind of immersive, to like an immersive reading experience. It put me more in the story. I felt like listening to the audio. So I am doing that with this book as well, and I'm enjoying it so far. I am really liking that Jax is a main character. He's kind of a side character in the Caravel series, and I was always really intrigued by him. He's like this fate, and he's really interesting. I think he's the Prince of Hearts. Is that right? Something I should definitely know by this point in the book. Yes, the Prince of Hearts. So basically our main character in this book, Evangeline Fox, is in love with this boy, and her sister is set to marry the man that she's in love with. And she reaches out, ends up corresponding with Jax, the Prince of Hearts, to get his help to interrupt this wedding, basically. And so he turns them all to stone. And that's kind of where the book starts. That's kind of where I'm at. And it's nice to have a little bit of a familiarity with a character already. I don't know why, it feels comforting in a way. Like, I already know Jax. We're besties. We're homies. I know him. And it's nice to have that. And yeah, not a whole lot to say so far, but the setup is there. I'm actually pretty into it. I'm feeling still kind of on that fantasy mood, and I get to buddy read it with a bestie, which is even better. So wanted to update you that this is the third and probably final book that we'll be reading in this vlog, and I'm very excited to continue this and see where it goes. I have the UK covers, and I ordered them years and years and years ago. I think I was still living at my parents' house, so 3 years ago, 2 years ago, probably close to 3 years ago, maybe. I don't even know. But I thought the covers were really pretty, and I was like, I'm gonna be a fantasy reader someday, so I want the pretty UK covers. Ordered the entire series from the UK with these covers, and I'm just now getting around to reading them. So that tells you pretty much everything you need to know about my fantasy journey. But that is where we're at. I will definitely update you as we go along, but I wanted to hop on before I got too far in and touch base. But that's my thoughts as of now. I feel like that was like 10 minutes of me saying pretty much nothing, but that's okay. Okay, so we've been reading Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I am at part 3, about to start chapter 37, I think it is. And I'm lost a little bit. I'm a little bit lost, a little bit confused. And by a little bit, I mean kind of a lot. I feel like I have the general gist of things, but ask me about any details and I'm probably out. I feel like they lost me when they went to the north and like all the fantastical figures and things going on there got a little bit jumbled. I do feel like I'm grasping the fates, and I think that's partially because of the setup in Caravel. I feel like I kind of understood fates as a whole and what that means. I don't necessarily feel like I'm fully grasping everything though. However, what I do know is that I really like Evangeline, and I feel like her character development has been really cool. She started out kind of like this, I don't want to say innocent, but like this pure romantic almost. And now she's like transforming and being more logical and critical, and I don't know that it's necessarily a good transformation because I do feel like she's losing some of her innocence, but I feel like in terms of writing a complex character, she's written very well and has a lot of character development, so that's really interesting. I don't entirely know how I feel about Jax. I don't know how I feel about the manipulation tactics and like basically branding her with her debts to him and the kisses and everything like that. Don't know how I feel about him. Don't think I trust Marisol, I don't know how to say her name, the stepsister. Don't think I trust her. I don't know, you guys. Prince Apollo, don't know. I don't know. I don't know where this is gonna go. I think part 3 is the last part of this, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe there's a part 4. I actually don't know at all. I don't know why I said that. Just based on like the amount of book I have left, I would assume it's all one part. So I am this far into it, on page 257, and probably going to finish this and then update you when I do finish. But as of now, your girl is lost in the sauce. I don't really know what's going on. Maybe I need to look up some summaries, not spoilers or anything, but just kind of summaries to put into human words what I'm reading, because sometimes the fantasy language, once I get lost, there's no coming back from it unless I interrupt and kind of read something to catch me up. So maybe I'll do that. Hopefully that helps, and then I will probably be finishing the book and letting you know my final thoughts and everything when I do. But I had read quite a significant amount, so I wanted to touch base and let you know that I am in fact very confused. We were off to such a strong start in this vlog, and I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get back on track. Optimistic thinking. Okay, it's a few days later. I am most definitely sick with a cold, but we're gonna talk about the ending of Once Upon a Broken Heart, but I just am warning you, I feel a little bit more out of it than even normally, and even on my best days, I feel like when I try to talk about fantasy, it's a struggle, so please bear with me with my words and trying to form sentences. I finished this book. I didn't love it, you guys. It felt very bland. Me and my friend that were buddy reading it, her term for words that or books that she doesn't enjoy is like they're a bland chicken. And that's how it felt. I just it didn't do anything for me. It wasn't bad, but like very mid. So 3 stars for this one. I don't know as of now if I will continue the series, which is really sad because like I said, I pre-ordered all the books from the UK. Like I was so set on loving the series. I even went back and read Caravel, which I didn't want to read, in order to read this series. And like, dare I say, I liked Caravel more than I'm liking this so far. However, I don't want to write it off entirely because I know the first book in fantasy series is oftentimes not the best. Like I find that I don't often like the setup book. It kind of just feels like it's setting up for the rest of the series. Like I know ACOTAR, the first book, everyone says is the most boring, but this just like didn't intrigue me whatsoever. The ending left on enough of a cliffhanger that I'm interested. Mainly I want to know Jax and like his intentions and if he's a pure human. I don't want to say too much, but curious about that. I'm just curious about a lot of things, but I don't know if I'm curious enough to read another book like this one. It wasn't the type of fantasy that I was into. I think I like more, I don't know if high stakes is the right word. I don't know all the fantasy verbiage. It just felt a little boring. Like it just was all these royal people and fates and suddenly vampires were thrown in there. It just was weird. I don't know, you guys. I am very disappointed. I thought that I would love this series. I've seen the UK book girlies like Rachel Catherine, I think in particular. I watched her vlog like years ago when she first read these books, and the way she obsessed over them, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to read these books. And I just wasn't into them, at least this one. So I don't know if I'll continue. I hate not finishing series. So that's definitely on the back of my mind. Like I own them. I hate just giving up in the middle of a series, but I also don't know if I want to do that all over again. Definitely not anytime soon. And I know myself, and when I push off continuing a fantasy series, I forget so much of the plot that it's pretty much just a done deal anyways. We shall see, to be determined. But as of now, Once Upon a Broken Heart, 3-star book, not my favorite. Definitely Shield of Sparrows was the winner of this video for sure. I love that, and I think that fueled me enough to be like, okay, I can like fantasy. It just has to be like the right type of fantasy, and the romance plot has to be very heavy. Romance was very heavy in this, obviously, but different. You win some, you lose some. But I do want to close out this vlog. It's been a while since I posted for you guys, so I want to make sure you know I'm not going MIA again. I took a couple months off, and now I feel like anytime there's a gap in me posting, people are going to message me and be like, girl, did you give up on us again? And I didn't. I am here. I just have been trying to read fantasy and it takes me a little while, okay? So, my dog's barking. Why? I bet you I'm getting a package. But I want to close off the vlog here. Now my dog is barking. I have a package at my front door that I'm going to go get. But that is all for today's video. Reading fantasy. Heck yeah. It's a big old Target delivery. Target Circle Week went hard. I'm not gonna lie, I ordered a lot of things. So I'm gonna close off the video here. Thank you for watching me try to force myself into becoming a fantasy reader and bearing with me with my fantasy newbie level reading skills. But yeah, that is all for this video. Make sure you're subscribed here so you don't miss any future videos, and also following me on all the things. They are linked down below as always, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, book besties.